Ancient beginnings, the first settlers and their land. Long ago, the land we know as Britain was a very different place. It was a land of forests and rivers inhabited by people who lived off the land. These early Britons were skilled farmers. They grew crops like wheat and barley. They also raised animals like sheep and cattle. These early communities were the foundation upon which British civilization would be built. Life was hard, but they adapted to the challenges of their environment. These early settlers also had their own beliefs and traditions. They worshipped nature gods and goddesses. They created impressive monuments like Stonehenge. Stonehenge is a testament to their ingenuity and understanding of astronomy. It remains a mystery how they moved those massive stones. The arrival of the Celts around 500 BC brought new skills and ideas. The Celts were skilled metalworkers and warriors. They introduced iron tools and weapons. These advancements improved farming and warfare. The Celts also had a rich culture with their own language and art styles. Their influence can still be seen in British culture today. The stage was set for the arrival of a powerful force from across the sea, the Romans. Their arrival would change the course of British history forever. The Roman influenced roads, cities, and trade. The story of how the Romans transformed Britain is a fascinating tale of conquest, innovation, and cultural exchange. In 43 AD, the Roman army invaded Britain. This marked the beginning of a new era for the island, one that would see profound changes in its landscape and society. The Romans were a formidable force. Their military prowess was unmatched, and their disciplined legions were the backbone of their expansive empire. They had a well-trained army and advanced technology. From their innovative weapons to their strategic formations, the Romans were masters of warfare. The Britons fought bravely against the Roman invasion. They were fierce warriors, determined to defend their homeland from the foreign invaders. However, they were ultimately no match for the Roman legions. The superior tactics and equipment of the Romans led to their eventual victory. The Romans gradually conquered most of the island. Their influence spread far and wide, reaching even the most remote corners of Britain. They brought their language, laws, and way of life to Britain. Latin became the language of administration, and Roman laws were enforced across the land. The Romans were excellent engineers and builders. Their architectural prowess is evident in the many structures they left behind. They constructed a network of roads across Britain. These roads were marvels of engineering, designed to last for centuries. These roads made it easier to move goods and soldiers around the country. Trade flourished, and the movement of troops ensured the stability of Roman rule. They also built impressive towns and cities. These urban centers became hubs of activity, bustling with commerce and culture. These cities became centers of trade and administration. Markets thrived, and goods from all over the Roman Empire could be found in British towns. London, founded by the Romans, would eventually become one of the world's greatest cities. Known as Londinium, it was a vital commercial and administrative center. The Romans introduced new technologies and ideas to Britain. Innovations in construction, agriculture, and daily life transformed the way people lived. They brought with them Roman law and government. The legal and administrative systems they established laid the groundwork for future governance. They also introduced new farming techniques and crops. Roman agricultural practices increased productivity and supported the growing population. Roman rule had a profound impact on British culture. Art, religion, and daily customs were influenced by Roman traditions. Many Roman influences can still be seen in Britain today. From architecture to language, the legacy of Roman rule is woven into the fabric of British life. After centuries of Roman rule, their grip on Britain began to weaken. The once mighty empire faced numerous challenges, both from within and from external threats. The Roman Empire itself was under pressure from invaders. Barbarian tribes and internal strife strained the resources and stability of the empire. By the 5th century AD, the Romans had withdrawn from Britain. Their departure marked the end of an era, but their influence would endure. They left behind a legacy of infrastructure, trade, and cultural exchange that would shape Britain's future. The roads, cities, and innovations of the Romans laid the foundation for the development of modern Britain. kingdoms and conquests, shaping medieval Britain. After the Roman withdrawal in the early 5th century, Britain entered a period of significant instability and change. The once unified Roman province fragmented into smaller competing territories. Without the Roman legions to maintain order, different groups vied for control. The power vacuum left by the Romans led to a series of conflicts and migrations. Tribes like the Angles, Saxons and Jutes, originally from continental Europe, began to establish kingdoms. These groups brought with them their own customs, languages and social structures, which would profoundly shape the future of Britain. This period, roughly from the 5th to the 11th centuries, is known as the Early Middle Ages. It was a time of great transformation and the laying of foundations for modern Britain. These Anglo-Saxon kingdoms fought amongst themselves for power and territory. The constant warfare led to the rise and fall of various kingdoms, each leaving its mark on the land and its people. This era saw the rise of powerful kings like Alfred the Great. Alfred, who ruled from 871 to 899, is remembered not only for his military successes, but also for his contributions to culture and learning. Alfred successfully defended his kingdom, Wessex, from Viking incursions. The Vikings, known for their fierce and relentless attacks, were a formidable enemy. He is also credited with promoting education and scholarship. Alfred believed that a well-educated populace was crucial for the prosperity and stability of his kingdom. The Vikings, fierce warriors and skilled seafarers from Scandinavia, posed a constant threat. Their longships allowed them to strike quickly and retreat before local forces could respond. They raided and plundered coastal settlements, causing widespread fear and destruction. These raids disrupted daily life and forced communities to adapt to the constant threat. They even conquered parts of Britain, establishing their own territories. The Danelaw, a region of England under Viking control, is a testament to their influence. The Vikings' presence had a lasting impact on British culture, language and trade. Their integration into British society led to a blending of traditions and the introduction of new words and practices. The Norman conquest of 1066 marked a turning point in British history. This event dramatically altered the course of the nation's development. William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy, defeated the English King Harold at the Battle of Hastings. This decisive battle paved the way for Norman dominance in England. This victory led to the establishment of Norman rule in England. The Normans brought with them a new aristocracy and a feudal system that reshaped English society. The Normans brought their own language, customs, and system of government. French became the language of the court and administration, influencing the development of the English language. The medieval period saw the construction of magnificent castles and cathedrals. These structures not only served as fortifications and places of worship, but also as symbols of power and prestige. Trade and agriculture also flourished, laying the groundwork for Britain's future prosperity. The introduction of new farming techniques and the growth of markets helped to boost the economy. The monarchy solidified its role, and the seeds of English common law were sown. The legal reforms and administrative changes of this period laid the foundation for the modern British legal system. This era witnessed the birth of a distinct English identity. The blending of Anglo-Saxon, Viking and Norman cultures created a unique and enduring heritage that continues to influence Britain today. Setting sail for new horizons, the age of exploration. This era, spanning from the late 15th century to the 17th century, was a time of unprecedented global exploration and discovery. By the late 15th century, Europe was on the cusp of great change. The continent was buzzing with new ideas, innovations, and a sense of curiosity that had not been seen for centuries. The Renaissance had sparked a renewed interest in learning and exploration. Scholars and artists were rediscovering the knowledge of ancient civilizations, and this intellectual revival fueled a desire to explore the unknown. New technologies like the compass and improved shipbuilding techniques enabled sailors to venture farther than ever before. These advancements made it possible to navigate the vast and uncharted oceans with greater accuracy and confidence. European nations, including England, were eager to find new trade routes to the east. The lucrative spice trade and the promise of exotic goods drove many to seek alternative paths to Asia, bypassing the overland routes controlled by rival powers. England joined the race for exploration and discovery. Explorers like John Cabot, Sir Francis Drake and Sir Walter Raleigh became national heroes, their daring voyages capturing the imagination of the public and inspiring future generations. These intrepid explorers set sail across the Atlantic, braving the unknown in search of new lands and opportunities. Their journeys were fraught with peril, but their determination and courage were unwavering. Cabot explored the coast of North America, laying the groundwork for future English claims to the continent. Drake's circumnavigation of the globe demonstrated the vastness of the world and the potential for global trade and exploration. Raleigh attempted to establish a colony in North America, an endeavour that would pave the way for future English settlements. Though his initial efforts were met with challenges, they set the stage for the eventual establishment of a permanent English presence in the New World. These voyages of exploration brought back new knowledge, goods and wealth to England. Exotic spices, precious metals and new agricultural products enriched the nation and spurred further exploration and trade. These expeditions were not without their dangers. Storms, treacherous waters and the constant threat of shipwreck tested the resolve of even the most seasoned sailors. Explorers faced storms, disease and hostile encounters with native populations. Scurvy, dysentery and other illnesses claimed many lives, while misunderstandings and conflicts with indigenous peoples added to the perils of exploration. However, the lure of riches and the thirst for adventure drove them onward. The promise of untold wealth and the glory of discovery were powerful motivators, pushing explorers to overcome the many obstacles in their path. Their discoveries would have profound consequences for England and the world. New territories were mapped, new trade routes were established, and the knowledge gained from these voyages expanded the horizons of European understanding. The age of exploration marked the beginning of England's rise as a global power. The wealth and knowledge gained from these voyages laid the foundation for England's future dominance on the world stage. It laid the foundation for the British Empire, which would come to span continents and influence the course of history for centuries to come. Established trade routes that spanned the globe, connecting England with distant lands and creating a network of commerce that would fuel the nation's growth and prosperity, and brought England into contact with diverse cultures and civilizations. These interactions were complex and often fraught with tension, but they also led to the exchange of ideas, technologies and goods that enriched both sides. However, it also sowed the seeds of colonialism, a system that would have profound and often devastating effects on native populations. The exploitation and subjugation of indigenous peoples became a dark legacy of this era, which would have a lasting impact on the world. The consequences of exploration and colonization are still felt today, shaping the political, social and economic landscapes of many nations.